All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Looks like we still got a few more seconds before it officially becomes time. There we go. There's
There you
AC.
It's not a show until AC shows up.
Of course. Hey, AC, in the comments, type in if you've ever been to a Waffle House. I'm curious. So yeah, this topic is going to be a little bit different, a little unique. There you go. So AC Cruz, what are your thoughts on Waffle House? Just give me like a short and sweet summary. What are your thoughts?
For me?
So this topic
is
definitely
for AC. Lucas is here.
There's Lucas. Lucas, good sir, have you ever been to a Waffle House? Let us know. There we go.
Good. All right.
AC Cruz has spoken. It's good. So this topic is obviously different. Everyone who's listening and watching, this topic is pretty different, but there is a point to it. There is going to be a Christian connection that I was able to create that I definitely have found throughout my life. And yeah, so Joel has never experienced the joys of Waffle House. Joys. And here's the thing: like I'll be completely transparent. Everyone has their own experiences with Waffle House. You either love it or you hate it. It's not really. I haven't met too many people who are like, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's one of those institutions that you go to and you realize, okay, this makes sense. And that could be good or bad.
Okay.
But Joel was tasked with some homework, and he had to watch a few videos explaining Waffle House, the business, the social impact of it, and the geographical impact of Waffle House. So, Joel, before I play some videos, what were some of your initial thoughts or key takeaways from what you've learned about Waffle House?
Well, it confirmed one of my suspicions in those videos that you sent. One of the things that came up was don't worry about the health and safety rating. That doesn't count here, because every time I drove, like if we visit the Midwest or wherever, I drive by one, I'm like, it doesn't look real. There's something about it, something about the signage, something about the thing. It's just like, it doesn't come across like, the Ritz-Carlton or whatever,
Right.
It seems to be just, hey, come in, we'll slop down something and, don't worry too much about anything else but this waffle we put in front of you. So, Lucas is, let's see, what did he say? They're talking about waffles have over 2,000 years of history. However, waffles are an integral part of American history. I'm not a waffle guy. I'm really not.
Neither am I.
I'm a pancake guy.
I'm not a waffle guy either. But guess where I love going to when I need that certain fix, that certain scratch that no other place can scratch? Waffle House.
Waffle House.
Now, I can go on a whole rant on why I love Waffle House, but
rant away. Go ahead. We got a half an hour.
Let's start with the numbers. Let me just show you the raw numbers. Okay. So right off the bat, there is over 2,000 locations of Waffle House in America, 25 states with a Waffle House, 932 cities with a Waffle House. On average, it brings in about $1 billion of revenue each year. And that was from 2023. And over $1 million of revenue per location. And I have a map here. It's an old map, but it's unique though. This is Waffle House by density. Now this is done in 2012. But you see that massive tower? Yeah. That's Atlanta, Georgia. That's their headquarters. All right. And one thing about Waffle House that's so unique is whenever a certain location is doing really well, do they expand the building? No. They keep it the same small size and they build another one right across the street. I have seen it time and time again. You could be on the highway, on one end, Waffle House. On this end, another Waffle House.
All right.
And again, I can go on and on, but there's multiple facets to what makes Waffle House such an American icon. But let's just get into it. Let me just show you a quick, beautiful little short video that covers all aspects of what makes Waffle House unique. Here we go.
People go to great lengths to eat at Waffle House. Loyal followers ride motorcycles across the country, choreograph dances, or simply show up and order the same thing every day for 50 years. Waffle House is so enduringly popular that the chain serves 341 strips of bacon, 238 orders of hash browns, and 145 waffles every minute. And so many eggs that 2% of all those produced in the US for food service end up on a Waffle House plate. But as anyone who's eaten at Waffle House quickly discovers, it's not actually the waffles that draw people in. So what sets the Southern favorite apart from other chains like Denny's and IHOP?
You gotta do the Waffle House when you come to the 8th term. It's only right.
Happy birthday to the Waffle House.
Oh, thank you, see! Waffle House isn't exactly pushing any culinary boundaries. But from the waffles to the hash browns, all the food is cooked to order exactly how you want it. Over the years, the chain has devised some quirky ways to make its food as consistent as possible. It's got its own secret language.
Smothered, covered, chunked, diced, peppered, capped, topped, and country.
Which is code for different toppings on hash browns like onions, ham, jalapenos, and melted cheese. They also have a complex system that servers and cooks use to mark plates. Servers place condiments in specific positions on a plate to indicate to the cook how exactly the customer wants their order. For example, jelly placed on the left side of the plate signals that the eggs are to be cooked over easy. The sheer amount of love for Waffle House has turned it into an iconic pop culture touchstone.
Hi, welcome to the Waffle House. May I take your order?
Day on Judge Faith. A trip to the Waffle House ends in a battle between best friends.
We don't come here expecting the French Laundry.
This is better than the French Laundry, man.
Waffle House is frequented by celebrities from Kim Kardashian to Kobe Bryant, and FEMA even uses the restaurants to evaluate how hard-hit disaster areas are.
If you get there and the Waffle House is closed, that's really bad.
And the fact that it literally never closes also means that late at night, things can get a little out of control.
Whoa!
Maple syrup! No, oh my God.
But that's hardly enough to keep people away.
It's the same type of stuff I can make at home, only I don't have to make it. I don't have to go to the store to get it.
I just like it, man. I've been raised, born and bred in Atlanta, so this is a part of our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've been getting the same thing to eat for like 12 years. Yeah. Like they know my order. Like when I walk in, my coffee and my Coke are ready to go. So
For better or for worse, you'll always get exactly what you order at Waffle House. And for us in the South, it's a fixture, 24 hours a day.
Now, there's multiple things in that, but before I go on my soapbox, what things in this video stood out to you, Joel?
It's a lot like In-N-Out Burger here, especially with the codes, the secret. Like In-N-Out has a secret menu,
right?
You know, that you can just kind of know because you know, and it's the same thing. It's just like a loyalty to it. The only difference I would say is In-N-Out serves the best hamburger you've ever had. It doesn't sound like Waffle House sells the best waffle or best breakfast you've ever had. It's just, they built a culture around it, and it's very customer focused. And like,
well, Waffle House doesn't specialize in one thing. It's one of those environments where Waffle House never said they were a farmer's market. They never said that they were a 5-star Michelin star restaurant. I'll tell you what, though, after a Michelin star chef has worked his entire shift and gets off at 3 a.m, where does he go? Waffle House. Guarantee it. And here's the thing about Waffle House. This is the kind of place where you can see the people making your food. It's not hidden, tucked away like at IHOP or Denny's. You know exactly what's happening right then and there. Now, to be fair, yeah, sure, that cook might be a convicted felon, but you know what? He makes the best dang omelets you've ever had in your entire life. He makes the best hash browns you've ever had in your entire life.
All right.
When you go to Waffle House, you're not going there for a a French cuisine with butlers. No, you go there because you're hungry. That's it. You go there because you're hungry, and yet you might get a show. You might not get a show. It might be dead. You might see a fight break out. But man, those grits are outstanding.
Dinner and a show, right? Or breakfast and a show.
And so the thing is that there's the cultural element to Waffle House, right? And that is obviously subjective. People may love it, they may hate it. But there's another side to Waffle House that a lot of people don't know about. And this is what raises the bar for me when I see them as a business and as a company. They kind of touched on it for a few seconds in that previous video. But this video does a much better job at showing how Waffle House steps up where no one else does.
This is the National Hurricane Risk Index from the U.S. Federal Emergency Management Agency. This is all the locations of Waffle House. Notice anything? Yep, Colorado is America's Eden. Also, Waffle Houses get hurricaned a lot. Also tornadoed, flooded, scattered, smothered, and covered. But even so, they rarely close, and when they do, it's not for long. Time and again, the glorious and resilient House of Waffle reopens, even stays open, in conditions that bring its neighbors and competitors to their knees, serving you 3 a.m. bacon when the power's out and your house is underwater. But how? In short, logistics and grit and grits. If you're not familiar with Waffle House's game, let me introduce you. One August weekend in 2011, Hurricane Irene pummeled this whole area, knocking out power to 22 Waffle Houses. By Wednesday, 21 of those were open. In 2017, Hurricane Harvey flooded hundreds of thousands of homes in Houston and East Texas, doing $125 billion total of damage. Want to guess how many of Houston's 34 Waffle Houses were closed 2 days after the storm made landfall while the rain was still pouring? Just 4. And by the time the storm passed, when the city still looked like this, they were all open. Waffle House is so resilient that the U.S. government uses their closures to plan their relief efforts.
That's not made up. This is a completely true fact. Look it up. He'll go into great detail, but the federal government, for the most powerful country in the world, FEMA, literally has a Waffle House Index. They use Waffle House because of their efficiency, because of their military logistics. FEMA is able to tell how bad a certain region has been hit by natural disasters based on if the Waffle House is open or closed. I'm not making that up. Here we go.
Waffle House is so resilient that the U.S. government uses their closures to plan their relief efforts. This is known as the Waffle House Index, thought up by future FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate in the aftermath of 2004's Hurricane Charlie in Florida, when he noticed that the only place for his team to eat was a limited menu Waffle House. So he adapted the color-coded system used to index infrastructure damage, green where things are working, yellow where they're affected, red where they're destroyed, then mapped it onto Waffle House, green for open, yellow for limited menu, red for closed. And it turned out to be a pretty spot-on system for assessing and predicting damage. Where a house is yellow, power and utilities around it are usually out. Where it's red, you can expect critical damage to infrastructure, impassable roads, flooded buildings, busted gas lines, that kind of thing. When Fugate moved up to FEMA, the index came with, and now, when a hurricane hits, Waffle House HQ tells FEMA which of their restaurants are open, closed, and running.
Think about that for a second. The Waffle House HQ in Atlanta literally has a 24/7 command operations center, and they tell FEMA what to do. Just think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Our federal government is based on Waffle House when it comes to emergency management.
Light, which FEMA pairs with more objective data like wind speed and known power outages to answer questions like, which places need the most help? How are we going to feed emergency responders? And the ever critical, can I get a Texas bacon cheesesteak melt and a side of waffle?
So there's more to it than just that. But the point I'm trying to make is Waffle House doesn't just have a unique cultural influence. They don't just have a unique economic influence with how much money they bring in every year, but they have a national impact. Well, I'd mostly national impact. And here's another thing, another fun fact. whenever a Waffle House gets into the yellow category or red category, and their workers have to focus on their families, other Waffle Houses will send what they're called jump teams. They send other people from other Waffle Houses to come in and help keep that local spot open. They literally have a playbook in every single Waffle House detailing what to do in case of every type of situation. They have a menu. If you have no running water, they have a menu. They have a menu for that. If they have no power, they have a menu for that too. It's the more you dive into this, the crazier it gets. But this channel doesn't just focus on unique things about American culture or politics. This channel also finds Christian connections, and this is where it gets good. So before I get into that really quick, again, Joel, what are your thoughts when it comes to the national impact that Waffle House can have?
Well, it's the kind of the American way. Americans can govern themselves, really, and leave it to the people, leave it to private enterprise, and they'll come up with a way. They'll come up with a system that's better than a big government program. FEMA, here's a huge government bureaucracy, right? But they, a place that exists to serve waffles and bacon also has figured out how to help in disaster relief, and good for FEMA for them relying on Waffle House, for them saying that they're doing this better than we can. So, nobody, it doesn't seem like anybody, the director of FEMA is threatened at all by this. He's like, hey, this is a resource we can use. But like I said, to me, it just reflects that's what's different about America.
Absolutely. And what's also unique about Waffle House is one of those companies that's still privately owned, like Buc-ee's. Right. And so if you want to get into the business, it's very hard to own a Waffle House like a franchisee. It's not like that, right? But let's start getting to the Christian connection, because there's actually quite a few that are very interesting.
Okay, just one thing here, AC. Yeah, I have to go to the Midwest or something, but they're not in California. So
with all the wildfires that happen in California could have benefited from a few Waffle Houses.
Could it ever? Good Lord, from the fires in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, too bad. Too bad we don't have. But we don't have to think about things like that usually here. I mean, we do have to think about fires.
Sure.
But, it's California, but we don't have a whole lot of weather issues. We just have to worry about our own incompetence is what we have to worry about. Yeah.
So the first verse I got here is Romans 5:3-4. And not only this, but we as Christians are meant to celebrate in our tribulations, knowing that tribulation brings about perseverance, character, and then character, hope. What can Waffle House teach us? Now, am I saying Waffle House is a Christian organization? Not necessarily. People that work there, not necessarily are Christian. But when you see how their business operates, Waffle House is the epitome of perseverance through tribulation. Again, when the federal government relies on Waffle House to determine what areas need the most help, that's perseverance.
Yeah.
So we as Christians need to be like a Waffle House and persevere and endure and keep moving forward. The next connection, the selfless service side of it. The fact that Waffle House HQ gets volunteers from other locations as jump teams to go into the worst case scenario and help those communities.
Yeah.
This is Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing from selfishness or empty conceit, but with humility, consider one another as more important than yourself. Do not merely look out for your own personal interests, but also for the interests of others. Now, keep in mind, this verse isn't just for fellow believers. This is for everyone around you. Don't lose your faith. Don't lower your standards. But at the same time, people around you need help. It's part of our responsibilities as Christians to do what we can to show that love, that humility, and that selflessness. And lastly, this is my favorite one. Matthew 5:14 through 16. We as Christians are called to be a light into the world. A city set on a hill that cannot be hidden. We are not supposed to be putting our light under a basket or keep it hidden. We're supposed to go out there and shine our light. But here's the kicker. If you are a light amongst other lights, what's the point? Nothing's gained from that. The way you be that light is to go into the darkness, to go into those areas that have not seen the light. And what's one of the best areas you as a Christian could possibly minister? That could very easily share the gospel. That could be that example. Waffle House. What's the one place that's always open, that is always going to have somebody there who will listen to you, or they can listen, or you can listen to them. If you want to start a ministry and spread the gospel, well, it's a great way to do it. Go to Waffle Houses. You never have to worry about them being closed.
Right.
So, obviously this is a fun topic, but those are just a few examples of that Christian connection to Waffle House. And obviously there are jokes. There are negatives to Waffle House. I'm not saying it's perfect. But the jokes kind of make it better. You go to Waffle House, you know where you're going to see. You might get great eggs, awesome hash browns, and phenomenal bacon. It might be a quiet night. Or you might see cops run in and arrest a guy at gunpoint. Who knows?
Yeah, you might have to brush the cigarette ash off your eggs over easy, but yeah, right.
I'll tell you what, though, those Waffle House employees, on average, they are paid better than most fast food restaurants at that same level. But you don't want to mess with those employees, though. I can't prove this, but I'm willing to bet you anything that those employees know self-defense to a certain point, because they have to deal with crazy situations.
Yeah, especially the night shift. I would not want to be the night shift. Overnight shift.
Especially in like a major city. You're definitely going to have a higher chance of issues in bigger cities.
Yeah.
But those are all my overall thoughts. That's my rants. But again, I want to finish off with your thoughts, because you're new into this world. What are some lasting things that have stuck with you about the House of Waffle?
It seems to value people. Like I said, I don't know if it is a Christian organization, but in the South, I saw a funny video a while back. It was a take on the Twilight Zone, and it was called the Cattywampus Zone, and it was on the South. It was this site that does funny things about the South, right?
Mm.
And this lady's at a bank and she has to wait in line, and she said, I wish people in the South weren't so slow, or they weren't. And all of a sudden, all of a sudden everybody in the South has no time for anything, right? And she says, "Hey, Mom, give me a call." So, she just text me. It was like because the South is so people focused, and they still haven't lost. Culturally, they still haven't lost the priority that the people in their lives are, the most important thing. And so that reflects on, Chick-fil-A started in the South too, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
in Georgia, actually.
Yeah, in Georgia. So Chick-fil-A was very, their prices are outrageous, right?
True. Yeah.
And they used to stand for good Christian principles, but it's still the same thing. Hey, we're going to give you those white Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out and Waffle House sounds like they have the same philosophy. We're not going to offer you, tacos and, all things like Jack in the Box does. We're not going to have all this, keep introducing new items. No, we're going to do one thing. We're going to do it really better than anybody else. Right. Or we're going to do it all night and we're going to do it more affordably. And we're going to create an atmosphere that everybody wants to come to.
Right.
And like I said, I can only compare it to In-N-Out, where when you're at In-N-Out Burger, everybody's happy. You cannot be at an In-N-Out burger and not be happy because you're about to eat an In-N-Out burger.
Right.
And the service is great. And you see them, like, it's the same thing you said, you see them cutting those potatoes right after, the French fries are right from a real potato, right? It's right in front of you. So it's just that matter of it's people focused, it's customer focused. And that does have, as I said, it has a lot of Christians overtones to it. If you show people that you're committed to them, that's not something we have and see a lot in the world. And I mean, Waffle House I'm sure they don't gain much profit it's not like they're profiteering during these disasters.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you're flying people in, that has to be at their expense. It's not going to be at the employees' expense. And, so it's just when you tell people, hey, we don't have an ulterior motive. We're not McDonald's who's putting powder in our milkshakes instead of real ice cream or whatever, which is a silly thing to worry about, but it hurt McDonald's bad, because it's like, oh, I thought your McDonald's, we love McDonald's, our kids, there's Ronald McDonald and Mayor McCheese and all of this, but you betrayed our trust, right?
That's an interesting comparison.
Yeah. And so, and that's what a big mistake Chick-fil-A is making now is like 15 years ago, they really stood for their Christian principles.
Right.
And we had that one day where everybody went to Chick-fil-A, right?
Right.
And the one here, the line was out into the intersection. It was crazy. But then they, Truett Cathy's son is not so committed. And so they're doing a lot of things that betrayed people's trust, and they're losing, they lost a lot of business because of it. So that's integrity is a big thing. Integrity is an important thing.
And here's the thing about Waffle House that I think can be connected to this topic. Waffle House is like the Old West saloon. It never said it was going to be a certain thing. It never said it's going to be like this high standard. All they said was, we can offer you this thing 24 hours a day.
Right.
That's it. And we can deliver it to you with an efficiency unlike anyone else. So you get in and get out.
I don't get the impression they hired a big public relations firm or that there was a lot of market research that went into this. I think they just instinctively knew because, like I said, they're from the South, Atlanta, and they know their people, they know their culture, and they do their best to fit into it. They don't try to be something they're not.
When's the last time you saw a Waffle House commercial?
I've never seen one.
Right.
Matter of fact, every time. Well, whenever I drive by one when I'm in the Midwest, I look at the building, I think, oh, they must not be doing well. Waffle House must have been something from the past or something that was real big, but not now because it doesn't look very impressive at all. It looks like an outdated building. It looks like the old Wiener Schnitzels around here.
They all look exactly the same. And to me, Waffle House, to me, the Waffle House is the type of person who has scars. They clearly do not smell the best. They clearly do not look the best. But you know what? They're always there.
Yeah.
They are always there. They're always reliable. And when the worst case, when the worst happens, guess what? You have a very high probability that same person who is ugly, scarred, and broken is still going to be there.
Right.
And to me, that's the biggest connection for me as a Christian is like, no matter what happens in your life, no matter how many times you get beat up, no matter how many times life comes at you and beats you down,
right?
Who is always going to be there no matter what? Our one true King.
Right.
That's it. And obviously I don't expect everyone to feel the same way if they're especially not believers. But even if you're not a believer, you can still find a new respect for Waffle House, not because their food's always the best, but because they do not quit ever. And that's something to walk away with.
I will have to make a point to visit one next time. Next time, especially if I'm in a hurricane or something, I'll check the weather and come on, honey, we're going to
Waffle House.
Whatever, Atlanta, somewhere. Just to.
All right. Well, Patriots, have a wonderful day. Time's up. But
Yeah.
Joel, can you please sign us out?
Yeah, let's try and be more like Waffle House, I guess. Realize the people are in your life are the most important thing. Always be open to them and for them.
And be a light to the world, not
light
just
to the world.
to certain people.
Yeah, people in darkness sometimes don't like the light, but they need the light. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Patriots, have a wonderful day. God's in charge. Take care.
Take care, guys. Hey, it's Joel here. If you enjoyed this, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you disagree or have a different thought, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching.